So have you ever had a solution that you've needed to optimize over WAN? It's run great over LAN, but then you want to access it remotely. Well, I've got a tool, I found a tool which is very useful. It's a free tool called Glasswire, which I use to optimize my solutions. And I'll show you that tool and a few of the techniques that I use to optimize a WAN solution now. So here's the tool, and as you can see, FileMaker is not doing any network traffic because I don't have any files open. So at the moment it's just showing my WhatsApp traffic. I've got a WhatsApp client running in the background. So to use the tool defaults opening in this layout on all apps, and then you just flick over to apps. And so I'll open a file now. So here I've opened a file. It's the file that I actually host my blog entries on. So there's no network traffic, no other users, but just as an example. And you can see there was a bit of network traffic when I opened it and changed some records. And I'll change some records now. And there's no traffic because FileMaker has already pulled down all the records. I'll do something that will induce some traffic. Create a new record. Very tiny amount of data. So FileMaker is quite efficient. If you do have an issue, then you'll see this bits per second jump up into kilobits and maybe even megabits per second as data is transferring through. And you'll see a lot of chatter over a long period of time. And when you have chatter over a long period of time, that's when you've got lag in your solution. So there might even be only bits or bytes going through, but if you've got calculations based on those bytes, then FileMaker is going to the server and back, and to the server and back, and that's where you can have lag. So the way to debug that is first go to your solution and go into layout mode and remove all of the elements. So select all, delete. Now that you've got that, FileMaker should not be pulling down any data. And you should see in your Glasswire that there will be no traffic except for a heartbeat approximately every 30 seconds, depending on the version of FileMaker that you're using. And that heartbeat is just the client telling FileMaker server, I'm still here. If you are getting traffic, then maybe you didn't clear all of the UI elements, or you've got a script trigger running, or install on timer trigger is running, or you've got a corrupt layout, in which case start a new layout and try again. And now what to do to debug your layout is go back to layout mode and add back your elements one by one. So I'll just undo what I've deleted, and I'll select a bunch of elements, delete, go back to browse mode, then I'll go back to my Glasswire and watch the network traffic again. And here you see the layout committing. The pink is upload, so there's the pink for upload, and yellow is download, and orange where they meet. So if you do have a lot of network traffic chatter going on for a long period of time, it's probably because you've got a calculation that is referencing fields that change a lot or referencing lots of other data, or it's because you've got conditional formatting or a hard calculation that is also referencing those fields. And it could be because they're accessing a field on a table that is changing often. The field itself doesn't have to change, just one field in that table needs to change because FileMaker pulls an entire record at a time. And when one field in a record changes, then it pulls that again and reevaluates. Or it could be a combination of those two, a calculation that's referencing a field that is changing often. Or it could be that you're using a SQL statement. And the problem with that is that SQL, up to FileMaker version 15 at least, your execute SQL statements will pull down the entire table that it wants to calculate on to do a calculation. So that's it. That's the trick. Just keep re-adding elements till you find where the slowdown is. You can also test your scripts, value lists, and so on. For value lists, I suggest if you do have a slow value list, because it's got a lot of records in it, or because it's from a table that is changing often, so that FileMaker is re-downloading all of the information to create the value list every time you click on it, that you create a copy table or a skinny table which only has a little bit of information in it. So FileMaker will pull all of the stored information for every record to make a value list, not just pulling that single field. So create a skinny table with only the field that you want to show in the value list, and base your value list on that. And don't change that table often. because your value list will cache the first time that it's called, and it won't change until you change any fields in that skin table. So that's it. See my blog for more tips on optimizing, or leave a comment below. And if you like this video, like it. If you dislike it, then dislike it and leave a comment. Thanks.